We have the best expectation for 2025. I mean, we started the year with the right foot. So we keep adding capacity. The load factors are very, very high. To give an example, last week, I was checking the load factors, right? We had days with 91, 92%. And it's past Eid, right? So demand is strong. I mean, we're adding 22 planes in the second half. So we were very excited. I mean, we did 10 million passengers in 2022. This year, we're going to be doing 21, 22 million passengers, growing 35%, 35%. Now we're going to be growing 15 to 20%. So really excited about the year to come.
So run us through what you did to achieve this.
I mean, the team is working hard. So first and foremost, you need to work hard. But one important thing that we did about 2 years ago was to restructure the network. So we said, look, let's offer our customers a different value proposition. So we invested a lot in our Indian market. We invested a lot in the Middle East market, right? So now we have 4 flights a day to more destinations in India and the Middle East. And we are playing the frequency game in those destinations, right? In addition to that, adding a lot of service to the customer, right? Etihad is again investing to provide great customer service. I mean, the transition to the new terminal made a big difference for us, right? So really, really excited about all the efforts that were put in place to get to the level we are today.
Everyone is asking about the update on the 1 billion IPO of Etihad. Do we have a date yet?
I mean, IPO is not an end game, right? I mean, I've done IPOs before in my former airlines. It's actually a mean for the airline to, for instance, capitalize, to boost growth. Etihad is in a very good position today. I mean, we're going to be investing in the next 3 to 4 years about $7 billion in new aircraft, and we actually don't need any shareholder money for that. So IPO for the management is not an end game. I mean, it's when and if an IPO done is going to be a decision for the shareholder to take. So we usually don't comment on that.
So you don't need to do the IPO because you are in need of cash. This is what you're telling me.
No, not really. I mean, our leverage today, I mean, EBITDA as compared to net debt is among the best of the industry. I mean, we have very good numbers in terms of leverage. So we're not leveraged. We're generating cash. We're growing. So we don't need the IPO cash to grow the company.
You launched Journey 2030. Tell us more about it. And how will Etihad look like in 2030?
So first and foremost, I mean, 2030 for us is tripling the number of passengers that we had as opposed to 2022. So we believe we're going to be about 30 million passengers at least in 2030. The other thing is we're investing $1 billion out of that $7 billion to retrofit all our fleet. So in 2030, all the planes, wide bodies are going to have first class. And this is something really big because 2 years ago, we had only 5 planes with first class. The other important thing about 2030 is the fleet size. The fleet size was about 65 during COVID. We're going to be about 160 to 170 planes by 2030. And as important as that, Etihad is going to be a company that is going to have promoted a number of people. I mean, last year alone, we promoted more than 1,000 people to become captains, to become flight attendant managers. So really excited about what we're providing to Abu Dhabi and to our people in 2030.
I think that's why IPO is important, because investors are looking for such a good opportunity, especially in the aviation sector. And speaking of the aviation sector, the sector is facing so many challenges. Tell me about your hedging plan and what is the impact on Etihad?
I mean, we had a number of things in Etihad, right? One thing that is really important for us to face any counter-cycle, because we're living a very good cycle right now, right? Demand is strong for all airlines in the world in this region, right? I mean, you see competition, they're doing well as well. But one important thing that we have in Etihad today is what we call fleet flexibility. So you don't see Etihad announcing 200 planes, 300 planes. We're doing like other airlines that we buy plane as we need planes, right? We prefer to be at the right level of aircraft and have some fleet flexibility other than have more planes than we need. So one important hedge that we have today in Etihad is if one day we have a downturn, I can reduce the size of my fleet without having to spend a lot of money, right? At the same time, we also hedge fuel, right? So we have a fuel hedge policy, but we don't let that change our strategy. So the idea that we have is the following. It's important to have flexibility and to have what we call previsibility, right? We need to understand that we don't change our business plan just because something's changing.
When you talk about the journey 2030, you talk about the customer experience, but the revenues of Etihad is not only passenger traffic, you have also cargo. I want to understand your plans for the customer experience, and I want to understand also what you're doing when it comes to cargo revenue as well.
Okay, let me start with cargo. I mean, cargo is an important business for us. We do about $1 billion in revenue in cargo per year. We have a different business model. We have only 5 freighters, but all these freighters are flying back and forth to Asia to fill the belly of the passenger planes, the wide bodies, that go to Europe and to the US. So our cargo business today is completely integrated with the passenger business. There's no decision that we take in the passenger business that doesn't take cargo into consideration. So cargo is not a separate business unit, but it's a business unit embedded in the passenger business. So we aspire in Vision 2030 to go to about 10 freighters. So we believe there is a space to double the size of our fleet on the freighter because the passenger business is going to grow as well. So we're really excited about cargo. It's been an important business for us, but it's integrated with the passenger business.
In 5 years, how you picture Etihad Airlines?
I mean, from the customer side, we picture, to deliver extraordinary customer experience. I mean, we're bringing back the first class experience like we had before. All the planes are going to have first class experience. You're going to have meet and assist, right? In all airports in the globe, if you buy first class. You're going to have a chauffeur globally if you buy first class. When you arrive in Abu Dhabi, you don't need to pick up your bags. You can have someone delivering your bags to your home. So we're really excited about the future, and you're here to redefine the luxury.
Best of luck. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.